Well, they moved into an assisted living facility, expecting what the company advertises as the highest levels of respect, care, and attention.
But a WCNC Charlotte investigation found Somerset Court of Cherryville might have failed to live up to that promise for some of its residents.
You don't get no help when you need it.
It should have never happened, and it did, and, I can't bring her back, but we're all sad.
From a man in hospice care sleeping on the floor to malfunctioning and missing call bells, WCNC Charlotte's Nate Morabito discovered multiple people are now sharing concerns about conditions inside the Gaston County facility that's home to dozens of people.
I really enjoyed it.
When Stacy Reeves walked through these doors,
I really cared about them.
it felt more like visiting her grandparents than a job,
I'm trying not to cry
which is why she says
because I would have wanted to be there.
it breaks her heart
I do feel bad
that she wasn't working the day one of the residents passed away.
because I bonded with him.
Reeves says she at least takes comfort knowing, because of her, this man wasn't on the floor when he died.
I was told that he was put back in the bed.
The former Somerset Court of Cherryville personal care assistant says the facility took her off the schedule in October after she documented the hospice patient's sleeping conditions.
He would say, get me up, get me up. He would just holler.
She says she took this picture of him, partially on the ground and partially on a mattress, in the days before the 74-year-old's death.
I couldn't leave him on the floor. So I took it upon myself, helped him into the wheelchair, picked the mattress up, put it on the bed.
Reeves says she recorded the eventual conversation with her supervisors.
I care about these people. I really do.
She says during that meeting, management told her a doctor ordered the resident to sleep that way due to being a fall risk.
We can't go against something that the doctor says,
And it was for his
whether we agree with it or not.
In the recording, they said this was the only alternative to keep him from falling out of bed
It's for his safety because he kept falling. He kept falling.
and to protect employees.
We didn't want you guys to get hurt either.
The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services tells us a mattress on the floor is acceptable if indicated and ordered by a resident's physician.
That doesn't look good. Not only that, with him being on oxygen, what if the cord would have got wrapped around his neck?
Also concerning, Reeves told us the man did not have the 2 state-required bells to call for help in the case of an emergency.
The entire time I worked with him, he never had a call bell.
In the weeks before he passed away, tell me about your mom.
She was always smiling. She was very sweet.
Linda J. died.
They felt her miserably.
Shelley Dorton says a Somerset Court employee called her in a panic.
I heard crying, yelling. She was very, very upset and had called to say that my mom had food stuck in her throat and she was choking.
Records obtained by WCNC Charlotte show the 73-year-old was on a special soft diet at the time, generally reserved for people who have trouble chewing and swallowing.
She was by herself, apparently eating, and food got stuck in her throat.
She passed away at the hospital. Her death certificate doesn't list choking as a cause of death, but Dorton says the emergency room doctor told the family that is what killed her.
It breaks my heart.
A current staff member and fellow residents tell WCNC Charlotte the facility's call bell system wasn't working that week.
I seen her grabbing her throat and running.
Barbara Estes lives at Somerset Court.
She tried her best to get up there and get help.
She says she lived across the hall from Linda J.
Our call bells had been turned off on Wednesday that week.
Estes says not only were the call bells down at that time, she tells us they again stopped working for several days recently. She says even when the call system is working,
It takes about 15 minutes.
it often takes several minutes for staff to respond, leaving her in fear.
It's awful. You don't get no help when you need it.
We need to do better.
All 3 of these women say the people who live here deserve better.
When I found out about Linda J., that was hard.
Reeves says Somerset Court fired her in December for showing up late to work too many times. She isn't going quietly.
Would I love to go back to work there? Yeah.
In her words,
But
fighting for those
I just want them taken care of.
who still live there today. We started sharing our findings with both Somerset Court of Cherryville and its parent company more than 3 weeks ago, and indicated our interest in arranging an on-camera interview to address the allegations about patient care. Neither responded to our phone calls and multiple emails. We also texted the executive director with no response. Residents tell us DSS has visited the facility at least twice since we started asking questions. The agency's director declined to speak with us. Nate Morabito, WCNC Charlotte.